Ever wondered what happened to some of the world's most famous tourist spots? Many once iconic landmarks are now just memories, leaving behind stories of their past glory. In this video, we're diving into the fascinating history of tourist spots that no longer exist. Let's start with something that was a true natural marvel, the Wawona tree in Yosemite National Park. Back in the 1880s, this giant sequoia tree was hollowed out to create a tunnel for horse-drawn carriages to drive through. President Theodore Roosevelt visited this spot in 1903, and it became one of the most photographed and visited attractions in the park, with visitors from all over the world marveling at this colossal tree. However, over time, the tree's health declined. The stress from tourists passing through, combined with environmental factors and the natural aging of the tree, weakened it. In 1937, a large portion of the tree's trunk collapsed, but the tree itself remained standing for some years afterward. Today, the Wawona tree is no longer standing, but it remains a part of the history of Yosemite National Park. Let's head to New Hampshire, where a natural rock formation once known as the Old Man of the Mountain stood proudly on Cannon Mountain. For over 200 years, this formation, which looked like the face of an old man, was one of New England's most iconic landmarks. It appeared on everything from postcards to license plates, and it was one of the most photographed natural features in the U.S. Sadly, in May of 2003, the old man's face fell due to erosion and other natural causes. It was a tragic loss for New Hampshire and the entire country. A memorial and a plaque now commemorate this once iconic site, and visitors can still explore the surrounding Franconia Notch State Park. Across the pond in England, we have the once stunning West Pier in Brighton. Opened in 1866, the pier was a Victorian gem that offered amusement rides, arcades, and the classic seaside charm that drew visitors from all over. But after years of neglect, storms, and a devastating fire in 2003, the West Pier was left in ruins. Though parts of it still stand, the once bustling pier is now just a skeletal reminder of the past. Now, let's travel to the Bay Area, where the Sutro Baths once stood. In the late 19th century, this giant indoor swimming pool complex was a lavish destination. It had 7 saltwater pools, a museum, and beautiful gardens, offering a luxurious escape for visitors. The Sutro Baths were particularly popular during the Victorian era, attracting everyone from locals to wealthy tourists. However, after a few decades of popularity, the baths fell into disrepair, and in 1966, a devastating fire destroyed much of the structure. Today, all that remains are the ruins at the edge of the Pacific Ocean, but the spot still attracts tourists who enjoy the stunning views and the eerie remnants of the baths. For decades, Penn Station in New York City was one of the most important transportation hubs in the world. Opening in 1910, the original station was a massive Beaux-Arts masterpiece, with grand marble halls, sweeping arches, and intricate details. Millions of travelers passed through it every year, making it a central part of the city's history. However, in 1963, the original Penn Station was demolished to make way for the new Madison Square Garden. The loss of this architectural treasure was met with public outcry, and it played a major role in the preservation movement, eventually leading to the creation of New York's Landmarks Preservation Commission. Today's Penn Station, while functional, is a far cry from the stunning beauty of the original. Heading to New Orleans, we find the once popular Six Flags amusement park, which opened in the 2000s. It was a huge attraction for locals and tourists alike, filled with thrill rides and family fun. Unfortunately, the park's life was cut short when Hurricane Katrina struck in 2005. The storm caused extensive damage, and the park never reopened. Today, Six Flags New Orleans remains abandoned, with decaying rides and overgrown vegetation taking over. It's eerie, but it also serves as a reminder of the devastation caused by Katrina. Although the park is no longer in operation, plans for redevelopment are occasionally discussed, though nothing has come to fruition just yet. In Bolivia, the Chacaltaya Glacier was once the world's highest ski resort. Located at nearly 17,000 feet above sea level, this glacier was a popular destination for skiers seeking an adventurous experience. Unfortunately, due to climate change, the glacier has been melting at an alarming rate. By the early 2000s, the glacier had almost completely vanished, and the ski resort was forced to close. Utah's Wall Arch was one of the most photographed arches in Arches National Park. A stunning natural formation, it was a must-see for visitors in the area. Unfortunately, in 2008, Wall Arch collapsed during a storm, leaving only rubble where it once stood. While it's no longer standing, Arches National Park still has more than 2,000 other arches, offering plenty of breathtaking landscapes for visitors to enjoy. A trip to Malta wouldn't have been complete without seeing the Azure Window on the island of Gozo. This natural limestone arch was one of the most famous landmarks in the Mediterranean, with its stunning blue waters and dramatic cliffs. It was also featured in shows like Game of Thrones. Sadly, in 2017, the Azure Window collapsed into the sea during a storm. It was a heartbreaking moment for many who had visited this iconic spot. However, the waters around Gozo remain as beautiful as ever, with diving and boating enthusiasts continuing to flock to the area. Here we have one of the most celebrated structures of the Victorian era, the Crystal Palace in London. Built for the 1851 Great Exhibition, this vast glass and iron structure was a marvel of modern engineering. The Crystal Palace was home to an array of exhibits showcasing the best of British and international innovations. Unfortunately, in 1936, the Crystal Palace was destroyed by fire, reducing the once great landmark to rubble. Today, nothing remains of the original palace, though its memory lives on in the surrounding park, which is still a popular spot for picnics, walks, and events. Next, we travel to South America to visit the Guaira Falls, which were once one of the largest and most powerful waterfalls in the world. Located on the Parana River between Brazil and Paraguay, these falls were an awe-inspiring sight. In the 20th century, Guaira Falls attracted tourists from all over the world, eager to witness its massive cascades and misty beauty. However, in the 1980s, the construction of the Itaipu Dam led to the flooding of the falls, permanently submerging them under the reservoir. While the falls are gone, the Itaipu Dam, which provides hydroelectric power, is still one of the largest in the world. In the heart of New York City, there once stood the Hippodrome Theater, a theater that was as grand as it was historic. Opening in 1905, the Hippodrome was one of the largest theaters in the world, hosting everything from Broadway performances to circus acts and vaudeville shows. It was a destination for entertainment lovers, a place to see the best and brightest stars of the time. Sadly, in 1939, the Hippodrome was demolished to make way for new development. Today, the site is home to an office building, but the memories of the theater's grandeur live on in the history books. In the coastal town of Newport, Oregon, there used to be a quirky and unique landmark known as Jump Off Joe. This rock formation jutted out from the cliffs, offering a stunning view of the Pacific Ocean. The name Jump Off Joe came from local legend, referring to a romantic tragedy, but it became a popular spot for tourists who wanted to snap a photo or enjoy the ocean breeze. However, in 2006, the rock formation finally collapsed into the ocean after years of erosion. Today, Jump Off Joe is no more. Let's head back to London to visit the iconic Euston Arch built in the 1830s. The Euston Arch was a grand gateway to the Euston Railway Station and was one of the first major railway terminal arches in the world. It was an architectural masterpiece, symbolizing the arrival of the rail era in Britain. Sadly, in the 1960s, the arch was demolished to make way for a modern, less ornate station building. Despite protests to preserve it, the Euston Arch was lost, but its memory lives on in photographs and architectural history. Today, there are calls to reconstruct the arch, but it remains to be seen if that will ever happen. Next, we're off to New York City's iconic Central Park, where a once popular venue, the Central Park Casino, used to stand. Opened in the late 19th century, the casino was a sophisticated entertainment venue offering concerts, dances, and elegant gatherings. It was the place to be for New Yorkers seeking a glamorous night out. In 1936, the casino was demolished to make way for a new facility, what we now know as the Central Park West entrance. While the casino is gone, The park itself remains one of the city's most beloved attractions, offering beauty, tranquility, and fun for millions of visitors. Finally, let's travel to the majestic Yosemite National Park in California, where the famous Jeffrey Pine once stood. This particular tree was known for its impressive size and iconic location on Sentinel Dome. For many years, the Jeffrey Pine stood as a symbol of Yosemite's rugged beauty. Sadly, the tree was struck by lightning in the late 20th century, causing it to fall. Today, a plaque marks the spot where the tree once stood. It's always bittersweet to remember these places, but they remind us to enjoy every moment because nothing lasts forever. Let me know in the comments which of these sites you missed the most, and don't forget to like and subscribe so that you don't miss the next video. It's going to blow your mind.